Shalom, Israel, another video, real quick, getting right into it. There's, of course, a difference between Africans and Israelites. And it says that in the Bible in Exodus 11:7. I'll get it. But, these devils, Vlad is a devil. I mean, he and if he go back to Israel, to 12 tribes, he's still a devil. But I believe he's a rat, a small hat, you know. And small hats are, which is so-called Jewish people. They're obsessed with Jake. That's why they had no problem with buck breaking. You might have to look that word up. As much as Jake is his enemy, doing some bullshit like that, and that has to be said like that. You don't have to, but I feel right saying it that way. Anyway, we said our people are scattered amongst all the nations, and this particular artist Estelle, she was born in in UK, as well as Idris Elba. If you know him, he's a popular actor, fairly popular actor. He was born in UK. The one that played in Black Panther, that Lolita Wright, she was born. She's a Guyanese British actress. Uh, Naomi Campbell was born in London, a popular model, black model. So, and he right here, I'm gonna play it. He's asking Estelle is on the difference between blackness in UK versus USA. Now, we often say those are the one that played in Black Panther, Daniel Kaluuya. And he played in what else he played in Get Out, the main actor. And he played in Black Mirror episodes, and I think a few more things. But you know, and then you got a rap scene in the UK, but it's still on difference between blackness in UK and USA. See how they just term it blackness. Now Vlad is going to ask her, are both of your parents African? And this is her response. Let's see.
My mom is African. My dad is West Indian. My mom is New York.
Your parents are African.
My mom is African. My dad is West Indian.
Her dad is West Indian, which is Benjamin, which are the Jamaicans. And her mother's African, but her mother could have been an Israelite and born in Africa, could have been a Western, West Coast, West Coast African, which, our people are mainly there. So she still could have been a Jake. But you know how they just term this blackness. But, she definitely is stating that there's a difference between, they're both so-called black, but nah, her mother is African and her dad is West Indian. So West India, West Indies, which is Jamaica. So she got that's why she got reggae influence in her music. But
According to noted newsletter, all
shut
practice.
the hell up. You see how they term, they go back to this, they push this African thing on us and this blacks on us, you know what I'm saying? And then, even that dude that I mentioned from Black Panther, he started in Black Panther too, not the main character, but one of the characters. The Justice League, I think he played in. He starred in there too. Daniel Kaluuya on racism in America versus racism in Britain. So that lets you know too. It says you shall find no, you shall be a byword among all these nations. Let me get that scripture right quick. So it's the meaning racism. You getting called a nigger or blackie, whatever that term of racism is. You know, byword among the nations, King James Version.
According to
It says, and
Bible.com,
thou shalt, Deuteronomy 28:37, and thou, and this is a certain, it's somebody that said we're not longer under the curses and of Deuteronomy and all that. Like we're in our blessings now. Dumbass, devil ass ninjas, man. If that was the case, we wouldn't still be getting called nigger and going through racism among these nations. What kind of are these niggas getting paid off, man? They gotta be getting paid some kind of bag, man. A small ass bag. Maybe they getting paid Kentucky. Maybe they getting paid in chicken, like Soul Train. They getting paid in Kentucky Fried Chicken. It says, let me read it from another. Deuteronomy 28:37, and thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee, man. Let me look up right quick definition of byword. Byword definition.
here's
A
the
person or
definition of
thing
byword.
cited as a
A person or
notorious and
thing
outstanding
cited as a
example of
notorious
an
and
embodiment of
outstanding
something.
example or embodiment of something.
A classic case of. You put in the category. Typical, a type, slogan, a motto, a watchword, a nickname. Yeah, that's a nickname. Nigga is pretty much same thing as a nickname. A word or phrase expressing a person's or group's core aim or belief. That's why when blacks protest, they call it Black Lives Matter. When they want to entertain on television, they call it Black Entertainment Television. When anything they want to do, they attach this, you know, this term to it, this byword to it, to describe them, you know. But anyway, so we were black. Such thing as so-called blacks in Britain, and we're bywords among all these nations. So, it says even Idris Elba's teaching you British slang. So to call us black here in America is, derogatory and in term of derogatory, in relating us to monkeys and whatever have you that they attach us with, with this term, lazy and all that, is untrue like a MF, man. You know? And it's mockery too. It's heavy mockery. You know? It's a mockery of hatred, man. It's like you basically beating slaves down, and then you telling them carry all that weight on them, and then you telling them, well, you're lazy because you can't, carry that weight, that excessive weight I put on your back. So these are the devils the Bible speaks of, the so-called white man that led us into captivity, pursuing to Revelation and pursuing to Deuteronomy. So if you devils think that the 12 tribe sign is not real, then why is things significant when, our people come, to talk about the different experiences they have, dealing with other nations and among people that, that they were once labeled as, such as Africans, which means that, if you got African on the 12 tribe sign, then that wouldn't make no sense spiritually, and it wouldn't make no sense historically. Because if you look at the records, we were captive on the Africans. We never wanted to be Africans, and there's a difference between us and the Africans. So why would they be on the same sign that we're on? Now, all those other 11 tribes besides Judah, they got the same spirit. And they don't mind, being referenced as, one and the same, But you'll have these devils that say, well, when it comes to heavy topics, well, we all go back to Africa, right? Like, that's mockery too. Because we all don't go back to Africa. We go back to Jerusalem. No matter what you devils say, man. Anyway, hear a little bit more of it close out.
I'm a great mix of both, best of both worlds, and everyone's always like, what? What the hell? In London, it's not that.
Africa is not the motherland. Jerusalem is, and it says in the scriptures. Mother of us all, Jerusalem, King James Version. Read that right quick. No, come on, man. Galatians 4:26, it says, but Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. That's the motherland.
Familiar. It's kind of normal.
You live in the United States right now.
Yeah.
So if you look at what it's like to be a black person in the United States versus a black person in the UK, what is really the difference?
Not much.
See, she said not much, because everywhere we go, we a byword. Everywhere we go, we experience this BS racism, and it's a problem all the time. Even when we, join Olympics or join boxing and all that, it's like, well, you could be over there in parts of, in the UK, and you join boxing, that you're going to have a card pulled against you for being, a so-called black person. And Jewish people never experienced that. Everywhere they travel, it's a red carpet laid out for their ass, a Hollywood carpet laid out for their ass. Oh, these are the people, these are rich people. Here, sit down there, like it says in the scriptures.
Not much difference at all. There isn't much difference, just off of the fact that, black is black wherever you go. The hood is the hood is the hood.
Yeah, exactly. The hood is the hood wherever you go. Black is wherever you go. This is a curse, and them Mormons, you low base caveman Mormons and shit. Y'all, your religion sucks, man. You should get a new religion, you devils. Y'all should get y'all are one of the most hideous religions, man. Like, who made that religion up, man? And for what I heard, y'all believe in some fairy that came down and shit and did something, man. Like, y'all believe in some weird ass shit, man. And nowhere in the Bible, and these Edomites, nowhere in the Bible it says believe in Santa Claus or believe in flying reindeers or believe in, this Cupid and all that. These Greek gods and these Roman gods. Ain't nowhere in the Bible it says to do all this stuff, man. So y'all got the weird religion. Y'all got the so-called, what y'all call it, a weird-ass religion, man.
Wherever you go, class is class wherever you go. The difference is you guys have a black president, where we don't. The difference is you guys have years of black, I want to say...
And this is 9 years ago, so I'm assuming this when was Obama in office? I don't know.
Decades where we don't. And it's kind of, so the viewpoint in life is a little less, the sky's the limit. More like the sky probably is the limit. Like you probably can't go past a certain level. at home, where here is kind of like, show me the money, let's see where we want to go, and that's kind of awesome to me. That's why I'm here.
Yeah, you see what she said. Show me the money. So that means the catalyst for the economic power right here, the harlot right here in America. Show me the money and let's see where we'll go. That's all America wants is like, show me the money. We could do some things. Just like a harlot, you know? But anyway, I'm going to close out. But, you know, these devils are trying so hard to prove that we not the people, and it just keeps proving that we are the people, you know? Because we don't have to, this is not strenuous to us. You know, Most High, Yahushai's yoke is easy. His burden is light. It's not. We don't have to go through these levels of contracts and democratic, standards and all that. We just on the highways and byways. Like, you believe the truth or not. You know, we don't have to have a black, a so-called black certificate to prove that our gene and line goes back to the Israelites, man. Y'all can believe whatever you want. If y'all don't believe that, then, whatever. But history proves, and y'all are covering cash. Y'all made it seem like it wasn't no black people scattered across, so-called black people scattered across the world, So y'all liars, and we know y'all to be liars in the first place. And then you can read many more. And if you look up Black Britons, and Most High will, I'll get into this a little bit more. Because, this all ties into the captivities of this Edomite oppression, from the Greeks, the Romans, and, us surviving and them using us as cattle and to make them money and capitalizing on that, our talent and skill and our wit and breaking us down, and going into the Willie Lynch letter and all those kind of things that they did extended beyond America, man. And the pain and the suffering and the what do you call it? The curses are the same, and they ain't got nothing to do. So-called, it has to do with us as a people. Because the Mormon, that demon ass, faggot ass Mormon religion talking about the black people were cursed. Yeah, we were cursed, but we didn't. It wasn't that. If that's the case, everybody, if it was black as a curse or having dark skin as a curse, don't you devils know that there's East Indians and there's Chinese and there's Ishmaels that's dark like us, you stupid dumbasses, man. That's how you know they don't make no sense. They act like black is a term of always a term of skin color. And then this Ishmael, I remember this. I think he was an Ishmaelite, Arab. He might have been an Elamite, and he was talking to Godfrey, the comedian Godfrey, and he said, "No, we're black too." And Godfrey is like, "Nah, you're not black, man." He's like, "No, we're black." But Godfrey was talking about the experience and the things we experience as so-called black people. He wasn't talking about so much the skin color. But the Arabian, the East Indian dude, he might have been talking about the skin color, like we the same. We both, dark skin. Like they go through racism too on certain levels. Not as much as our people, but they had that. if there's a light skin or a real dark Elamite in the family, in the Elamite family, they might call him darky or blacky, just like they we do amongst ourselves as so-called black people. The difference is though that they're not under the curses like us, you know, when it comes to families broken up and everything that mentions in Deuteronomy. But they do lightly go, or they surface those similar things, the terms and bywords, and some of them, like we said, some of them, a portion of them is our people too, because we were scattered among the nations, like it says, man. So, for Vlad and people like his thinking, man, to try to put us in a box, a black box, and call us, well, relate everything back to Africa, yeah. Well, your question is, well, the question is, well, how are you a Benjamite, a Jamaican, and married an African woman? How did that happen? So that's another story. But I bet her mother is an Israelite too. She was just born in Africa, and her pops was probably born in Jamaica, and went to Africa and met her or something like that. However the case may be, and if she is a heathen, a real African, she's still a Benjamite. She's still a Jamaican, the daughter of a Jamaican. But if she, and I'm gonna close out with this, if she married a man, an African man, a real African man, or even an Edomite or whoever, well, her that child is gonna be whatever father is. So, she's not really, she doesn't lay the seed. She's not the seed giver, whatever. So when it comes to daughters, they could be in between here and there when it comes to the importance of nationality. The only importance is when it comes who the men they lay with. So that's why his fathers always had supervision over their daughters, because shit, if you go and have a get pregnant by another nation, we got to get involved with that nation. Because when nations were, let's say you have she married the king's son, and they had a child. Well, that child is royal to their throne, their bloodline of passing down. And so he gonna be like, well, yeah, this is the bloodline, and my son put his seed in you, continuing our bloodline. So, they're not gonna say that that's an Israelite baby. So the woman, when it comes to importance of bloodline, she's basically just something, a womb for that bloodline to be carried in by the man inputting it in her. And she could, she's a part of that. She gonna be a wife, of course, and she'll see her son grow, but then she gonna be like, well, damn, I want to take my son to see my father. Well, it might be a different kind of case, because he's not included in the alpha bloodline of her father. He's her son is the son of an Ishmaelite baby, or son of a Moabite baby, or son of Elamite baby. And that's when nations was like, that you have your own land. So, they're born in the land of Elam or Moab, and they're gonna grow up and they're gonna be, and their son is gonna be under their father's, throne, so to speak, or in their house. So they're not gonna be like calling, you know, calling her father. And sometimes it's like that. Sometimes the marriage, they call them in-laws and shit. Sometimes they get along and sometimes they do come together. But, it's going to be a racial conflict no matter what. No matter if somebody claimed that they're not racist, there's going to be some fusion because, people do things different. The other nation, have different customs. It's a whole history behind the other nation. So, yeah, you're going to experience some racism or racial talk in any kind of nation that you bond with, so to speak, or bonded because of the relationship with a daughter, which has the son comes through her womb. So now it's like, well, whose son is this, and then where's he gonna stay, and who, yeah, it's a deeper thing than what I can explain right now. It's a whole, but anyway, I don't know what I'm gonna call this, but yeah, there's different. There's definitely a difference, man. Which which means being in America is very well watered down. Even with the education and all that, and they do things different, but the pain and the suffering of our captivity, of our oppression, of the racism that's against us is basically the same. She said there's no difference. So this is a misleading title anyway. Anyway, there is a difference. I mean, there is no difference. As she said, it's still the same. But the difference, when it does come to a difference or whatever, it is because of the freedom and the so-called possibilities and all that. There's more gifts here in America, more, and it's driven because of money. It's driven because that's why all this Hollywood is the biggest pot of so-called gold and of riches that you're able to reach in a way. Because, that's the ideal when you want to fulfill your dreams is to be rich or to be famous, and that all leads to hell, man. Especially on this side, that all leads to hell, man. Anyway, so